So welcome to this video. We have already seen how to display a message on the terminal, and we have already seen how to create variables, and also we have seen different types of data in Python. But today we will see an interesting Python function, which is the input function, right? So let's say we have this variable name equal Dave, right? Okay, let me move this right here. Okay, so now let's say if your name is not Dave and then you want to display your own name and I want to ask you for your name. So how I can do that? So this is where the input function comes in, okay? So let's see how it works. For example, I might say instead of putting your name is Dave, what I can do, I can ask you for your name. Okay, I can say input, I can use the input function, and then I can say enter your name. Okay, and then what I can now, you have already seen in the previous videos how to display the values, okay, the data that is associated with the variable. Now to display the name, we can the value that is associated with that name, we can just print name, right? Okay, so in that case, what does the input function do in that situation? The input function pauses the program and wait for the user to type something. Okay, I have created some quick note for you right here so you can have a better idea of what I'm saying. Okay. Okay, so this is what the input function does. Okay, you need to keep this in mind. The input function pauses the program and wait for the user to type something. Let's say if I want this in the terminal, right? You see, it asked me for my name, and I say, Wilkinson, right? And then as soon as I press enter, the the name that I put right here will be associated with the with this variable, right? With this variable, and then I will print it to the console. You see, now I print the name, which is Wilkinson. So you have a better idea. Let's take another example. Let's say if, for example, I want to ask you for like your age, okay? Age equal like okay, not age because this is something that is that we will see later. Let's say okay, language, which language you speak, right? Input, I can use the input function to ask you for that. I can say what is your favorite I'm sorry. Okay, instead of the language you speak, I'll ask you for your favorite programming language, okay? What is your favorite programming language? Ah, okay. What is your favorite programming language? And then now the answer you will provide, okay? The answer you will provide will be stored in this in the language variable, okay? That will be the value of that language, and then after that I can print the language variable, so to get the value that is associated with that variable. So let's see, okay? Okay, right here I ask you to enter your name. Let me comment this. Uh, hmm, let me comment this one because I don't want it to be here. Okay. Okay, I ask you, okay, what is your favorite programming language? Okay, let's see if I type JavaScript, right? I type JavaScript, and then as soon as I type JavaScript, now the JavaScript that I enter right here, this will be the value, the data that will be associated with this variable, right? And then as soon as I print this variable, it will give me the value that is associated with this with this variable. Let's print it to see. You see? So, or I can print a message, right? I can say hello. Okay, I can make it more fancy, like more funny, so you can learn something. Let make it more funny. Let's say I want to say, okay, my my favorite programming language is okay, and then I type this one. Let's see. Okay, now let's get it. You see, what is your favorite programming language? Now let's say Python, right? And then you will see, my favorite programming language is Python. Okay, so there is something I want you to know. Okay, there is a better way we can build this string. There is something called f string. Okay, I have already created some text, some note for you, so I will just copy it and paste it right here so you can have a better idea of what I'm saying. Let's come right here to copy this note and paste it here. Okay, this is what we will use to specify a string has an f string. Simply put an f in front of the string literal. Okay, so we can use an f string in order to create the string that we want with the variable. What we'll do, let's copy this one. Okay, we will print, okay, we will use an f string. We will say f, and then we will use a double quote or single quote, it doesn't matter, and we will pass our text. My favorite, okay, favorite programming language is, okay, and then right here we will pass, you know what we will pass, we will pass the variable. Okay, where you will pass the variable. Let's pass the variable, and then we will pass the variable inside of a quote. Okay, I'm sorry, instead of a bracket we will say language. Okay, and then with this one you build what you will build what is called an f string. Okay, so let's print it to see what will be the result. Okay, let's say JavaScript is my favorite programming language. You see, my favorite programming language is JavaScript. So you learn what is an f string, and you learn how to get the values or how to get the data from a user, because when you will be creating a web application, you will not be the one that will enter all the data, right? The users will be the one that will enters all the data. Okay, so now we have seen how you can request the user for the name. Let's say if I want to use this one again, okay, and then let me comment this form. Okay, so let me use this one again, and to show you something. Let's say if I want to say, okay, I want to print my name is, I can use an f string, okay, and I pass the double quote, and I will pass my string, my name is, okay, and then I can pass the variable, okay, and right here you will see it will first ask me for my name, and after that it will print it on to the console. Okay, let's see, because you know the input function poses the program, okay, and waits for the user to type something. What it does right here, it will pose the program, and then it will wait for me to like type something, okay, to type something on the console. Let me comment this one. Okay, let me say something. You know, I will use two variables. Okay, I will use my name is and my favorite programming language is. Let me just copy this text, guys. Okay, it will be a long text. My name is, I put name, and my okay, my favorite programming language is, I will enter my favorite programming language. What it is the language that I will enter. You will see. Okay, what is I will come right here. What is your favorite programming language? My favorite programming language is Python. Okay, now it will ask me to enter my name. I will enter my name. My name is Dave. That is an example. My name is Dave, and then wait, and you will see what will be printed to the console. You see, my name is Dave, but it doesn't print the programming language. Let's try to see what is happening. Okay. Okay, let's say Python, and then let's write the name. My name is Dave. Okay, you say my name is Dave. I'm sorry, my name is Dave, and my favorite programming language is Python. But let's do it better, right? I was silly. This was silly. Okay, I write JavaScript right now. JavaScript. It doesn't matter how I write it. The idea is just to show you how the print function works. Okay, my name is Dave, and you see, my name is Dave, and my favorite programming language is JavaScript. So you see, so for example, you can start like creating your own Python program to ask your friend what is the name and what do they do in life, a lot of things. Okay, so now if you have any question, do not forget to uh, ask it in the comments below, and I'll be more than happy to take time to answer your questions. As you have seen, we can have multiple inputs, okay? And as we can have multiple inputs, we can have multiple prints on the on our code. It doesn't matter, okay? So for example, you see right here we have an input, which is the, let me put it right here. Let me copy it so you can have a better idea. And then let me put it right here, okay? So you see, we can have like multiple inputs in our code. For example, we have the language, we have the name, and then we can use a net string to combine the variables with a string. Okay, so in that case, I hope you learn something new. And then if you, as I have mentioned, if you do not understand, do not forget to let me know, and then we'll be more than happy to assist you. Okay. Now, remember one important thing that I want you to know. The input function will always return a string unless you ask the input function to return something else. Let's see. Okay, let's say if I ask for age, okay? I say input, and then I type, what is your age? Okay, what is your age? If I ask you your age, you will enter a number, right? It should be an integer, as you have seen with me in the previous video. So let me comment this word so we don't get confused. Okay, I'll comment this code. Okay, now I say age equal, and then I print the age. Okay, I print the age, and after that we will get the data, the type of the data that has been returned by the input function. Okay, you see, what is your age? Like 45. This is it. Now let's get the type of that data. You remember in the previous video, if you have watched the previous video, you will know how to get the type of a data. You say we use the type function, right? And then we'll get the type of the data. You remember the abbreviation for each one of them? Okay, you see, what is your age? I'm sorry, this is 45, and then it returns a string. So this, the str is the abbreviation for string, and then why this one returns like a string when I put a number? This is the question you might be asking yourself. But the thing that you need to keep in mind is the input. Okay, the input function returns a string. Okay, so now in order to convert that to a number, there is something that we will need to do. Okay, we will need to use something called the int. We need to pass this one, right? To convert it, to say, okay, as it will return a string, but we don't need the string, we need an integer. You remember the abbreviation for integer is int, so now that means we convert the value that has been entered, okay, into a into an integer. Okay, so let's try to see what will be the result. Okay, now I put age. I'm sorry, I put like 45, and then you see the type of that data becomes an integer. Okay, so now you get the result. You understand how that works, and then you see how you can convert your input into like a string, and then so you can get the expected like a data type that you want. There is a common like a beginner mistake every beginner makes. The mistake is as followed. Let's say if let me remove this one, right? Let me remove this one. And then let's say if I ask you to enter your age, and then I say print age, okay, plus 2. Okay, it will give us an error, but we will correct it together. You see, what is your age? I put 56. It gives us an error. It says type error can only concatenate string, not int. So we cannot concatenate a string in an integer in Python. We cannot do that. This is why it gives us the type error. So to do that, we can either convert the input into a string right here, okay, or we do it right here. We can do int, okay, and then we convert it uh an integer, and that with that we will be able to do the calculation. Okay, let's see. If we say what is your age, I put like 67, you see, and it returns 69. Or I can say, okay, I can get it right here. I can say int, okay, and I will create a fancy message plus 2. I can do it right here as well. And then I can use the F string, and then I can say my, okay, I'm sorry, I am, okay, and then we will use the bracket to get the to pass the variable, right? And then we pass age. It will, and when the print function prints, it will return the value of that variable. I am years old. Let's see. Okay, this is amazing. So you can start writing your own Python code as of today. Okay, now we have, what is your age? Let's say we put 34, okay? And then I am 36 years old, because right here we plus it by 2, and then the value that has been returned right here, we converted it already to an integer, okay? And then with that we were able to make the calculation, okay? Okay, with that, I believe you understand, and then you have a better idea of how the input function works. So we'll try to do a little exercise together, okay? And then let's try to do this one. Okay. Mhm. Okay, we can also convert this to a float. Okay, as you have seen, we can convert this to a float. We can also, let me show you. We can convert this to a float. Remember, the float, what is the, if you watch the previous video, if you haven't watched the previous video, it will be difficult for you to know what is the difference between a float, an integer, a string, a boolean. So I expect you go back to watch the previous video to know what is the difference between a float, an integer, a string. We will not go over them in this video. Okay. Okay, let's say 56, and then it returns 58, and it returns also a float. So this is amazing, but for the purpose of this video, we will just convert it to an integer, right? Okay, so now let uh let's do a fancy, like something amazing. Okay, let's make it interesting. Let the age, let's make it interactive. Okay, let's say input. Okay, we can say, hi, what is your name? What is your name? Okay, what is your name? And then after that we can say, I'm sorry guys, I put age for name. What is your name? Okay, and then after that I can put age. Okay, I can type input. Okay, how old are you? Okay, I'm sorry, how old are you? Remember this, the user will enter a number right here, so we need to convert it to an integer. Let's convert it to an integer. Okay, okay, so now we can print. We will print. Okay, we'll use the if string, and then we will pass the string that we want to accompany with the variable. Okay, we will say okay, hello, and then we will pass like hello. We'll pass name. Okay, hello, and then after that we can do another print statement. We can say print. Okay, uh, we can say we can use yes, another f string. We can say you are correct, you are, and then we pass the age, you are, and then right here we continue to say you are, and then we pass the years and old. Let's see what will be the result, right? Okay, what is your name? My name is Wilkinson. Wilkinson. And then how old are you? I am 45. Okay, I'm not 45. That is just a joke, okay? I am 45, and then I press enter. You will see, hello, Wilkinson. You are 45 years old. That is amazing. So, guys, I hope you have learned a lot of things, okay? And then if you have a question, do not forget to write your question in the comments below, and also do not forget to send me a message, so tell me what you do not understand, and then we will review them together. So to summarize what we have learned that we can use the input function to get information from the user. Okay, so everything entered with the input function is stored has a string. Okay, so in the we store the input in a variable. The input function, we store them in a variable. So let's write this together. Okay, the input function, the input like function we returns like a string. Okay, that is the first thing we need to keep in mind. And then information, the input function gets, okay, the input function get, okay, information from the user. Okay, this, you need to keep this in mind. And then another thing is restore, I'm sorry, restore input in variables, right? Variables. This is why I took my time to cover first, to cover how to display data on the screen, and then how what is a variable, how to create them, how to give name to variables, and also I took my time to cover the different types of data that you can use in Python. So now I expect you have a good understanding of these, and then happy coding, guys. I hope you will be ready for the next video. Okay, do not forget what you do in order to master these. You need to practice a little bit, try to ask people for the name, and then try to make the code more interactive. So happy coding. Thank you for watching this video. Bye bye.